The purpose of this exercise is to show you how to pass an index variable to a method if this index variable is a reference to an object. Also, we will show you how this method can change the object pointed by this index variable. We will write the program into steps. In the first step, we need to create an array of type employee called staff for the following 3 employees. The name of the array is staff, and it's going to be an array of objects of type employee. We have already defined the class employee before. Let us have a quick look into this class and identify what are the data members, what are the methods available there, and what are the constructors and how many constructors are there. Here is the definition for the employee class. It was defined in a previous exercise to declare an array of objects of type employee. Let us have a quick look into the definition of the class employee. It has 3 data members, all of them are private, employee ID, salary, and name, and it has only one constructor, which is the default constructor. So when you create an object from this class, the only choice to initialize the data is by assigning a default values. For employee ID is 0, for salary is 500, and for name, no name. In addition to that, there is a unified set method that sets the 3 data members all at once. This method is called setEmployee. Also, we have getters, one get for each of the data members inside the class. Now, since we have only one default constructor, now how to create an object for a certain employee and assign a new ID and name and salary to this employee. We do this in 2 steps. The first step is that we create an object using the default constructor, so an ID and salary and name all will have default values, and then we use setEmployee, assigning the new ID, the new salary, and the new name to the data members of the object. Let us go back to our problem to explain it in detail. Here we are now in JGrasp. This is the class definition for the employee, and here we have written a demo class that uses the employee class. So in the first part, we need to create an array of type employee called staff for 3 employees. First, let us declare the array. So we write employee as an array. It will be called staff equal to a new employee, and it is going to be for 3 employees. Now, the entries inside the array, or the elements or the index variables, are pointing to null. So no objects are created yet. So we have to create 3 objects for the 3 employees. Let us first create the first object and assign it to index variable 0. So we write staff 0 equal a new employee, and remember that we have only the default constructor. So now we don't have any data inside the object except the default values. Now we need to assign a new data members inside this object. As you remember, we are going to use a unified set method that will change all the data members inside this object. So how to call this method? First, the name of the object is staff0 dot setEmployee, and then we first give the ID, which is a 3134. This is for the first employee, and the name Ahmed, and the salary is 850. So let us check if this method has these parameters in this order or not. By going to the definition, setEmployee, it accepts ID in the first parameter, salary in the second parameter, and then name. So that means our setting data is not correct. So here we have to write 850 and then followed by the name. Now let us create the object for the second employee. So we say staff1 equal to a new employee, and we say staff1 dot setEmployee, and we set the data for the next employee. The ID is 6789, the salary is 700, and the name Mona. Finally, for the third staff, which is at index 2, we are going to create an object of type employee, and then we will say staff1 dot set employee, and we supply the data to this method, the ID 4512, the salary 6750, and the name is Abdul Jalil. This completes the implementation of part A. Let us go back to the problem and see what is required in part B. In part B, we want to write a method called promote that has two input parameters. The first is an object of type employee, and the second is a double that represents promotion percentage. The method increases the employee salary by the promotion percentage. Let us see how to implement this method in JGrasp. Since we are going to write a method, so we need to write it outside main but within the same class as main. So here is the definition for the method. So since it's a method, so we type public, and let us postpone the return value after we write the code inside the method, and then we decide what will be the return value. The name is a promote. The first input parameter, as the question says, will be of type object, so it will be employee, and we will label the argument EMP, which is short for employee. The second parameter will be double for the percentage of the promotion. So let us begin the code for changing the salary. Now, how to change the salary for the object employee? When the employee is promoted by the percentage, the new salary, we are going to call it net salary or a new salary. So let us define a variable inside the method as double, and we are going to call it a new salary. This new salary will be the old salary plus the old salary multiplied by the percentage. So how to get the salary of the employee? Remember that inside the definition for employee, we have a method for getting the salary. It's called getSalary. We are going to use it. So here we will say that EMP dot getSalary, and it will give us the salary. Similarly here, we will say EMP dot getSalary will get us the salary. After we get the salary from the employee object, we apply the percentage increase, and the new salary will be saved into new salary. But the percentage as an argument to the method is a double value greater than 0 and less than or equal to 100. So therefore, we have to divide the percentage by 100. And since percentage is double, so there is no need to put dot 0 so that we can get a double value. Our next question is how to change the salary inside the object employee. If we go to the employee definition, we have a unified set method that changes the whole data members of the object. We don't have a single set method that changes the new salary. If we had this method, then we can simply call it and change the current salary to the new salary. So how to use this unified set method to change the salary to a new salary but keeping the ID and name unchanged? Let us go back to the method and show you how to do this. So we will call the method EMP set employee, and in here we need to keep the ID as it is, and we are going to supply the new salary as an input parameter, and here we want to keep the name unchanged. To do that, first we have to get the ID from the object before we change it, and we get the name also before we change it. So we will define a variable that will hold the ID, and it is defined as long, and we are going to call it ID EMP dot get EMP ID, and this will get us the current ID of the object. Also, we will define a name for the current employee by saying EMP dot get name, and it will get us the name of the employee and saved into name. Then we supply these values as input parameters to set employee. So we write ID for the ID and we write name for the name. And by this way, we have kept the current ID and name unchanged, but we have changed the salary to a new salary using the unified set method. So what is the return value for this method? Since we are only changing the state of the object, we are changing data inside the object, there is nothing to return. So the return value in this case will be void. So what this method is doing, whenever it is given a reference of an object of type employee, then it can change the state of this object internally. So if a reference is given to it, it has the capability to change the state of the object pointed by this reference. However, if this argument is coming from an index variable that is pointing to an object, then the index variable is still pointing to that object, but the object state can be changed inside the method. Let us go back and see the third part. In the third part, we want to promote all employee salaries and staff by 20% using the method promote that has been defined in part B. Let's go to JGrasp and implement this part. To promote every employee, we have to iterate over all employees one by one and call the method promote. So let us do that. We write for loop for integer I equals 0, I less than staff dot length I plus a plus. In every iteration, we are going to call the method promote, and we will supply the employee object from the array. So we write staff I, and then we supply the percentage for the promotion. Now the question did not ask, but we are going to display the employee salaries before promotion, and we will display the salaries after promotion. So we write a for loop that will go over the staff or employees one by one. And in every iteration, we are going to print system.out.println. We will print the staff ID, staff I dot get emp ID, followed by tab salary colon, followed by the employee salary staff I dot get salary. Also, before printing ID, we would like to display a message by saying ID colon with tab to make separation, then link it with the ID. Also, we will repeat these two lines after we make the promotion. So in every iteration, in the second loop, staff I as an object will be supplied to promote method, and promote method will do the promotion and change this employee salary to the new salary. But since we are going to call this method from within a static method, which is main, then we have to define it as static. So we have to say public static void promote. Now this completes the implementation of our exercise. So let us run the program. We first check for errors. We compile. So there is one error. It says Mona. Yes, there is a problem that Mona must be a string constant. So we have to surround it with double quotation. We save it. We compile again. Now it does not have any error, so we run it. So let us see the result. So we have to separate here, printing the employee information before promotion and after promotion. And also there is a bug, there is a logical error for the third employee. As you notice that it has the default salary and the default ID. So it means that it has not been changed. So when we go back, let us go back where this error is happening. The problem is happening here. See, when we created the last employee, we did not change its data, so it kept its default values, but we have called set employee for the previous employee. So we have changed the information for Mona and replaced it by Abdul Jalil. So here, this is the problem. Here we have a bug. Now we compile it again. And let us put a message here before printing the employee's information before promotion. So we write system.out.println, and here we say before promotion. And we copy this statement and paste it after we made the promotion. And here we say after promotion, and we print the result. So let us run, it will compile at the same time and see the result. So this is the result. As you see that these are the salaries before promotion and these are the salaries after a promotion.